If you're struggling to connect with your wife, meaning a lifeless marriage lacking intimacy, sex, or love, then you're probably making this one mistake. And look, you're not alone. Most successful men are not aware of what this one thing is or how to fix it. In today's podcast episode, I'm going to be breaking down what this one thing is and how you can use it to reconnect with your partner. So if you want more sex, more love, more appreciation, that spark you had at the beginning of the relationship, then make sure you implement this right away. If you get value from this video, give it 5 stars or a thumbs up wherever you're watching or listening so we can help more men have better relationships. So this one thing is extremely simple and it's called understanding. When your partner feels understood by you, when she feels loved, appreciated, supported, respected, she's going to feel an emotional connection to you. And there are 3 core things that create an emotional connection inside of a woman. They're typically very different to what creates an emotional connection inside a man. If you're like me or over 1,000 of the clients we've coached, we're very simple creatures. We work hard, provide for our family, make money, grow our business or career, grow wealth to support the home life. And for a lot of men, they think that's enough. When they come home after a long day, they just want the house to be clean. They want the chaos of the workday to disappear, have safety and security at home, and they want to get laid. They want to be touched. They want to be fucked. They want to be sucked. They want to have all the good stuff from their partner sexually. But for so many men, I was one of them, our partner doesn't want to give that to us because they're lacking that emotional connection. And that's where this idea of understanding really comes in. There are 3 core areas we're going to be breaking down today that you need to understand about your partner. And ironically enough, these are the exact same 3 areas you get to understand about your children, your team or employees, about anyone on the planet. These 3 areas are the physiology, the emotional state, and the mental state of that person. So let's break down the first one before we dive into the next 2 because they're all extremely important. Make sure you apply them all together. The first thing here is physiology. Think about what connection is. When 2 cars collide, they connect, but that car accident can be catastrophic. Collision creates connection. It's physical. It's the exact same in our relationship with our partner. So if we want a physical connection, sex, intimacy, love, holding hands, kissing, all that fun stuff, our partner's physiology, how they feel physically, comes into massive play. Let me break this down for you in a simple way. If you've ever woken up just really tired, you've had a long, stressful week, you don't want to get out of bed, you feel sore, you might have a backache, your body isn't optimized. You go through the day and you don't feel good physically, like your body is just not in a good place. You're much more reactive to the circumstances around you. There's a problem at work that might not have set you off, but because physically you don't feel great, your hormones might be out of whack, you might not be drinking enough water, you might be eating shitty food, your gut health might be fucked up. That's gonna cause you to be more reactive. It's the exact same with our partner. My wife, I need to understand where she's at physically. Once a month, this weird fucking thing happens where she becomes a different human. Now, unless your wife's gone through menopause, you probably know what I mean. There is a cycle that most women have, unless they're on contraception, where once a month, their hormones go through the roof. Now, you cannot battle your physiology. You can't battle your body. As men, we struggle to understand why our partner acts a certain way without actually trying to explore why they're acting a certain way. So I come home after a long day, I'm stressed, I'm triggered, my wife's upset at me, I judge her for being upset at me instead of actually going, you know what? What's going on for her physically? She might not be sleeping well because of our daughter. Her gut health might be fucked up. We teach this at Empowered Man. Your gut health affects your brain massively. It affects your emotions massively. Depression, anxiety, both of those things can be influenced by your gut health. So if my wife is not eating well, she's not exercising, she's on her period, she's not sleeping well, she's not hydrated, those are all factors that can affect her, how she shows up, how she feels, and how she thinks, which are the next 2 points we're going to get into. Now, as men, when we're not getting what we want, we're not getting love, we're not getting appreciation, we're not getting support, understanding, or respect for all the hard work we do, we often go into a frame of judgment. I did this with Rosie for fucking years. I judge her for not giving me what I want. And the story was, I'm working hard, I'm giving you what you need. But just because I think that's what she needs doesn't mean that's what she wants. When I'm in a frame of judgment, I can't understand my wife. Think about that for a second. Let me repeat it. When I'm in a frame of judgment, I can't understand what's going on for my wife. So the first thing I need to do when I'm feeling disconnected from my wife is go, okay, what's going on for her physically? Has she stopped working out? Is she eating shitty food? Is she not sleeping well? Is she on her period? And that removes some of the judgment because I'm more understanding of her physical state. What's going on for her body from top to bottom? It sounds so stupid, it sounds so simple, but if she just drinks more water, sleeps a little bit better, goes to the gym, which she feels like she can't do because she's too busy with our daughter, if I support her with those things, guess what? She's happier, she's healthier, she's more likely to connect with me emotionally and physically and sexually, which is what I want. I want all those things, but as a man, I've got to earn them, I've got to get them. It's not fair, it's the way it fucking is. So the first piece of understanding here is understanding where is your partner at physically. If they're being grumpy, triggered, angry, stressed, they're disconnected from you, what's going on for them physically? And ironically enough, you do the exact same for yourself. What's going on for you physically? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? Are you sleeping well? Are you drinking enough water? All of these things impact our relationships. We don't think about this. Relationships aren't just what you do in the relationship, it's how you feel physically. There's physical that goes on for you, which is why for a lot of our clients, we've helped over 1,000 fix their marriages. We don't touch their marriage. We help them get physically fit, healthy in their mind and their body, which means they win. So step one, understand where's your partner at physically, where are you at physically, which leads us to step two, which is probably even more important. It sounds so simple, understanding your partner, understanding where they're at emotionally, physically, and sexually. But so many men struggle with this. And what's the point of being successful in your business or career if your relationship's lacking connection and you lose your wife and kids in the process? If you want a custom roadmap on how you can become a better father, a better husband, a better man, a man who has connection in his marriage, sex, intimacy, love, a man who's successful in business, a man who's healthy physically and mentally, a man who has it all, then you need a roadmap. And so many men lack that roadmap. We've done this for over 1,000 men, and we can do it for you too. So if you want a custom roadmap on how to reconnect with your wife, find balance in life, become the man you know you can be, then go down below to the first link in the description, book a coaching session with my Empowered Man team. On that session, we'll literally build out your custom Empowered Man roadmap to be successful in your health, wealth, and relationships. The second thing that we get to understand about our partner and ourselves is emotional understanding. Our physical body, our gut, our sleep, our hydration, our food, the period once a month, that affects our emotional state. And your emotions are your feelings. Now, most successful men, I used to be this guy, we suppress our emotions. We don't know how to communicate what we're feeling, and we also don't know how to ask what our partner's feeling, which means a lot of the time when our partner is feeling something negative, we don't understand it. That instantly destroys connection. Think about in your life when you're working hard and you're grinding and you feel like your partner doesn't understand the pressure you're under. You come home after a long day, you're exhausted, and your partner says to you, "You're home late again," or she yells at you, or she expects you to help with the kids. There's a part of us that goes, "What the fuck? Like, do you not know what I'm going through?" Right now in my business, we spent $300,000 on expenses, and it's the 13th of October when I record this. There's a lot of pressure on my shoulders. I'm growing Empowered Man. I'm helping more people. I'm hiring and firing. We have a team of 18 now. I feel all this pressure as a business owner, trying to provide for my family. And I come home, my wife's upset at me. Now I feel misunderstood. Well, it's the exact same for our partner. What is your partner feeling in the relationship? Does she feel like the spark has disappeared? Does she feel upset or angry at you? Does she feel like there's a lack of connection? Does she feel like you don't understand her? Does she feel like it's been going on for years? See how these are all feelings? Doesn't mean they're facts. But if she feels like you don't give her what she wants, it doesn't matter if you feel like you're giving it, there's a disconnection. She doesn't feel it, you feel like you're giving it, that means there's a disconnection. You're not seeing eye to eye, you're not on the same page. And that's okay for a day or a week or a month. But if that goes on for years, you can see how a partner can decide why the relationship isn't going to end. This is why so many men say their marriage ended overnight, because they're not aware that their partner's feeling these things. And how can we be aware of what our partner's feeling if we don't fucking ask? It's crazy. In business, we have meetings and we communicate what's going on for us. Like, hey, you're doing well in your job, you're not doing this well. We don't do that in our relationships. So think about the disconnection that needs to occur in your relationship for you not to get what you want. I know for a fact, and this is really fucking hard to do, I know for a fact that if my wife doesn't want to have sex with me, if she's too tired, if she doesn't want to be intimate or physical with me, I know for a fact she's feeling like she's not getting what she wants. Now, whether that's true or not, doesn't matter. If I'm trying to give it to her and she's not seeing it, she's not feeling it, then it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It means I'm not doing the right thing. So the question I always ask myself is my wife feeling loved? Is my wife feeling appreciated? Is my wife feeling supported? Is my wife feeling understood? Is she feeling respected? Laser focus. We teach this to all of our clients, LASUR. Now, if she's not feeling those things, I have two options. I can get grumpy and triggered that she's not seeing all the hard work I'm doing, or I can go above and beyond to give that to her. It's been a long day. I'm stressed. I don't want to do anything. She's stressed. She doesn't want to do anything. There's dishes in the sink. I go and help her. I know from conversations with her, that makes her feel supported. I take our daughter Talia up to have a bath, even though it's been a long day. And then she feels like I'm giving her some appreciation. I tell her she made a nice dinner. She feels appreciated. So I ask her, how are you feeling in our relationship? She tells me. We have this constant feedback loop. A lot of the time as men, when we're not feeling like we're getting what we want, we go into this victim mentality, which is crazy, especially if we're successful, that we blame other people for our lack of results. What I'm saying here is understand what your partner's feeling. Understand that if you're not getting what you want, you can be damn sure they're not feeling like they're getting what they want. And the only way you can find out what they want is by asking them, how are you feeling in our relationship? How do you feel about our progress as a couple? How do you feel physically, mentally, emotionally about where we're going and the direction we're going down? And then once you get that feedback from your partner, you understand what they believe, even if it might not be true, then you give them more of what they want. If you don't understand what they're feeling, you're fucked. So physiology, the first thing, actually affects how you feel and think, which leads to the second thing, feelings. So your body affects your feelings, and that leads to the third thing, which is psychology. It's the mental state. And you can have the feelings right, you can have the physical body right, but you can still be disconnected sexually and emotionally in a relationship if you don't understand the third step here. The third part of understanding is the mental state. It's the psychology. So recapping, we have physiology, what's going on inside of the body. We have emotional understanding, what feelings do they have in their body and what feelings do you have? And the third step is psychology. What are they thinking about? Every single thought that you have is based in language. It is not like you're speaking caveman, ooh, ah, ah, like fucking making noises or clicking your tongue. It's all words. So we often don't understand what our partner is thinking. A lot of what we think as men, as women, as humans is just stories. If I come home, it's been a long day, the house is a mess, the story I create is, my wife doesn't care, she doesn't understand. Now that thought, that story may or may not be true. It happens without thinking, ironically enough. It's a default story like drying yourself with a towel or wiping your ass when you take a dump. You don't think about it, it just happens. These stories happen by default. We get triggered by something, we believe the story to be true. And that's what makes us feel negative emotions. If I think that my wife doesn't care, and I think that she's been lazy all day and she doesn't appreciate me, that means I feel angry, I feel upset. What's the exact same for our partner? What do they think about you? What story do they have about you? If there is a disconnection in the relationship, you're not connected emotionally, you're not connected sexually, then you can be damn sure they believe some shit you're probably not going to be happy about. So a question we get to ask ourselves as men is, yes, we're successful in making money and providing. Awesome. Fuck yeah, that's great. But what does our partner think about us? How do they perceive us? How do they see us? What story is in their head? Is their story, he's a hard worker, he's great at communicating, he looks amazing, he's very, very good at fucking giving me what I want him, I desire him. Is that the language going through their head? If you're disconnected, you can be damn sure it isn't. So I'd sit there in my bed after a long day, My wife facing the other way. I put my arm on her shoulder. I'm like, babe, should we make love? Should we have sex? She goes, I'm tired. Now, when she says I'm tired, what's really happening in her head is she's saying, he hasn't spent any time with me. He's been working a lot recently. I feel like I'm not connected to him. Feelings. See how the feeling comes from the thought. All he does is work. He only wants to have sex now. He didn't want to talk to me earlier. But you got to understand, these are the thoughts going through their head. They don't even realize it's happening. So a few questions here. You can ask your partner, like, what are you thinking about? What do you think about our relationship? What do you think about where we're at? How would you describe our relationship? You want to establish the language your partner would use to describe you, to describe your relationship, to describe your connection, to describe what you do for them, to describe how you make them feel. The language, the thoughts are how you describe what they're feeling. And if they're not feeling connected and they're not thinking connected, then how the fuck can you be connected? The craziest thing is this for men is in relationships. There's this story that it's enough to provide and put food on the table and make money. And that's absolute bullshit. I coach a lot of successful men. I'm a successful guy, multi-million-dollar business. That's not enough for my wife. She likes that. She likes nice things. She likes having freedom and living in a nice house. But we mind read and we expect our partner to think that's enough. We never ask if it is enough. In this day and age as a man, you've got to have it all. You've got to have the health, wealth, and relationships lined up. And you can't have the relationships lined up unless you understand what your partner thinks about you. What is their perception of you? How would they describe you? Now, this is a difficult fucking conversation to have. But when you really think about it, it exists before you have it. If your partner doesn't feel like you're giving them what you want, if they have a negative story about you, that they don't believe you're the man they want, over time, that story gets worse and worse and worse. And that's when divorces happen. Because there's a point where your partner decides, they're like, I don't know if this relationship's gonna work. I'm not connected. Oh, he'll change. Oh, I love him so much. Oh, what about the kids? But there is a point. There's always gonna be a point. When your partner thinks that for so long, they make a decision. And once that decision is made, the relationship's over. It's very hard to get it back once that decision is made. It's exactly why my partner left me 7 years ago. She had made a decision 6 months prior. To me, it was fresh news. It happened overnight. To her, it didn't. It wasn't enough to provide because I wasn't aware of how my partner perceived me. So have that difficult conversation and understand that everyone in your life has a perception of you framed in language that makes them feel a certain way about you. Connection is coming from what they think and what they feel. Now, their physical body influences what they think and feel, but what they think and feel about you makes a massive difference. So let me tie this all together. Let me give you an example. If my wife doesn't feel appreciated, she doesn't feel supported, she feels like she's raising our daughter on her own. If she thinks in her head, all he does is work, he just wants to have sex with me at the end of the day, he gets grumpy and triggered. Man, he's so different to where he was at the beginning. He used to take me out on dates and give me flowers. Now he's just always stressed. If she thinks and feels that, it's very hard for her to emotionally connect with me, to want to give me what I want, to support me, to appreciate me. Now, if my wife sees me stepping up as the best version of myself and she feels supported, loved, appreciated, she's healthy physically and mentally, she believes that I'm a hard worker, she can see how much I'm sacrificing, she understands that. In her head, the story is, you know what? He's really putting in the work. I appreciate him. You know, he talks to me at the end of the day. He's trying his best. He takes me out on dates. He gives me what I want. If she believes that, guess what? She's going to be emotionally connected to me, sexually connected to me. She's going to give me what I want because she feels like she's getting what she wants. And relationships are transactional. If they're getting what they want, guess what? Emotional connection, all of that stuff comes back to you. And this all comes back to this one idea of understanding. You've got to be able to understand where they're at physically, their physiology, their body. You've got to be able to understand what's going on for them emotionally. And you've got to be able to understand what's going on for them psychologically in their mind. What are they thinking? What are they believing? What stories are they telling themselves? It sounds so simple, understanding your partner, understanding where they're at emotionally, physically, and sexually. But so many men struggle with this. And what's the point of being successful in your business or career if your relationship's lacking connection and you lose your wife and kids in the process? If you want a custom roadmap on how you can become a better father, a better husband, a better man, a man who has connection in his marriage, sex, intimacy, love, a man who's successful in business, a man who's healthy physically and mentally, a man who has it all, then you need a roadmap. And so many men lack that roadmap. We've done this for over 1,000 men, but we can do it for you too. So if you want a custom roadmap on how to reconnect with your wife, find balance in life, become the man you know you can be, then go down below to the first link in the description, book a coaching session with my Empowered Man team. On that session, we'll literally build out your custom Empowered Man roadmap to be successful in your health, wealth, and relationships.